Hello, students. Now we will start a new chapter, that is 15th chapter of your NCERT book, Air Around Us, where we will learn about the concept of atmosphere, then the different gases which are present in the atmosphere, what is wind, and ultimately we will learn the different properties of air along with the composition of the air and how the different gases which are present in the air are helpful for us, and then we will learn the uses of air. So in the first class we will learn about the general introduction and then the composition of the air. Okay, so actually air is the mixture of the several gases. Maybe we cannot see or smell the air, but we can feel that is air is present everywhere. No living things can survive without air. That is a common thing. That is wherever we go and whatever we do, we need air for our existence. And definitely, we cannot survive if we don't get the air. So, air is present everywhere, even it is present in the soil. Some water is present, some air is present in the water, in the pond, in the lake, in the river, or air even present on the buildings, on the ground, everywhere air is present, and moving air is called as the wind. Now the air has several properties. We know that air contains several properties. First one is air is colorless, tasteless, odorless, gaseous substance. So the first one we are coming, that is the colorless. That means it has no color. Tasteless, that means we cannot specifically taste the air. It has got no taste, so it is tasteless. Then we can say it is odorless, that means no smell. So then air has a mass, but air has a mass. Later on with different activities we will prove that air has a mass. The third property is air occupies space. Even that also can be proved by an experiment, where we will see that air also occupies space. Then air dissolves in water. Now, this property is very much helpful for the sustenance of aquatic life. Otherwise, no aquatic life, maybe it plant, maybe it animal, can survive, because we already know that all the living system needs air in adequate amount for its survival. So air had not been dissolved in water, it wouldn't have been possible for aquatic animals and plants to survive. And another very important property which we will discuss later is the air can be compressed. So these things, these properties we had seen. Now let's do an activity to prove that air is present everywhere around us. This we know, this is a fact. We know that air is present everywhere, but let us do it with a very easy experiment which you can do on yourself. First, we take an empty bottle. But empty bottle means we are telling empty because the bottle does not contains any liquid. Maybe it water, maybe it juice, maybe anything. It is not there, so we are telling it empty. but it is actually not empty, which it contains air. So first we are taking an empty bottle, and then we hold it in the inverted position. That means with its open mouth facing downward, as you can see in the picture, as you can see in the book also. That inverted glass bottle is put in water and kept in a vessel. We will find that water does not enter into the inverted glass bottle because the bottle is filled with air. So that means the bottle is empty. By our vision, it is empty. So if we insert that bottle inside the vessel which contains air, definitely the air should enter into the bottle. But on the contrary of our thinking, we are seeing that no water is filling or coming inside the bottle. So we can say the as the air is present inside the glass bottle, the no more water can enter. So from here we can say air occupies space. Now next experiment we can do is we tilt the bottle held in water. So, after that, what will happen? The air which is present inside the bottle will go out in the form of air bubble. So, once we tilt the bottle, we can see air bubbles are coming up. That means it is coming from the water. So, as the air from the bottle escapes, water starts entering. So, after seeing air bubbles, what will you see? The water is coming inside the bottle. Why? Because as we are tilting the bottle, the air which is inside the bottle are coming out as a water wave, as a bubble, and as it is coming out as a bubble, that means air which was inside the bottle is getting empty, and now water is getting the place to enter into the glass bottle. So, the space which is vacated by the air leaving the bottle is now occupied by water. So, from these experiments, what we had learnt, we had seen that a glass bottle which appears to be empty is actually filled up with air. Number one. And the second one is air occupies space. Had it not been there, water would have entered into the bottle when it has immersed in a vertical position, keeping the face of the bottle downward. Next time, why the air is, I mean, the water is entering? Because the air which was present inside the bottle is now going out in a form of a bubble. The bottle is becoming empty in real sense, so the water is entering into the bottle. So, this is a very common experiment by which you can prove these three properties. Next, we are coming about the concept of atmosphere. This you know, this is the layer of earth actually. That means the envelope of air that surrounds the earth. Here in the diagram, in the picture, you can see there are different layers which are surrounding the earth. The first one is the troposphere, then the stratosphere, then the mesosphere, then the thermosphere, and then ultimately the exosphere. Okay, so this extends up to many kilometers above the surface of the earth. So, why it is essential? Because it provides oxygen for breathing by all living organism, and obviously without oxygen nobody can, I mean no living system can breathe. All of us need oxygen for breathing. That is why atmosphere is essential for life, because it provides oxygen. Now as we go higher up in the atmosphere, the amount of air becomes less and less. That means amount of oxygen becomes less and less. And as a result of which the mountaineer who climb up in the higher altitude have to carry the oxygen cylinder because they need to breathe from this oxygen cylinder because the atmospheric natural oxygen is lacking in that altitude. You got my point? So in the altitude, as you go higher, the oxygen concentration keeps on decreasing, but then obviously the people has to survive, so they have to carry the oxygen cylinder from where they can take up the oxygen. Now we are coming to a very interesting fact, that is the composition of air. Although we can see, we can feel the air, but in the air, different gases are present in different compositions, which we are not being able to understand normally. So, what are the gases which are present in the atmosphere? In the picture, you can see that is the nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and other gases. And then the inert gases, some inert gases, mostly present is argon and then the water vapor. Now we are coming into the percentage. Even in the picture, clearly you can see the maximum present gas present in the air is the nitrogen, which is about 78%. Next is the, with the yellow color here you can see oxygen. Next present is oxygen, that is about 20%, or to be very precise 20.9%. Then coming the carbon dioxide, along with the carbon dioxide, another very some non-important gases are also present, which constitute about 0.3%. Then coming the inert gases. What is inert gases? You will learn when you go to higher classes. But generally, especially the argon, that is 0.9% around, is present. About 1%, almost about 1% argon is present in air, and the water vapor present is 1%. So this is all about the different gases composition. Later part we will discuss each of the gases and their property separately. Okay, but the composition of air, what is mentioned here, is not always exactly the same. That means not a huge variation obviously, but a little bit of this side that side point variation is there, and it again varies from place to place and season to season. So that the variation, although it is not very in a larger amount, but little bit of variation is always seen, and that variation again depends upon the seasonal variation or the plus variation. Okay, so in the next class we will see that air is the mixture of the gases, and then we will study about different constituents of the air. Okay, so till then, maintain COVID protocol, remain safe, remain healthy, remain happy. Thank you.